The following is a special presentation of Extreme eSpeed TV, your new home for everything iRacing and eSpeed.
People want to have a one-stop shop. They need us for now all these different services, not just the heating and air side.
When things are going wrong, you want the company that's going to be able to get things done as fast as possible for you.
Today we're going to be in over 600 homes. What the customers can count on is we're going to send a competent person to your home with a vehicle that's stocked and prepared. We're going to do what's right.
Right now, we're waiving our $79 service fee with any Coolray, Brightbox, or Mr. Plumber service.
Another night of Coolray Pro Late Model Dirt Series action as we come from Knoxville Raceway in Knoxville, Iowa for tonight's Hall of Fame Classic, 50 laps around this historical speedway. As always, I'm Travis Piercefield, joined with Adam Johnson. And Adam, we had a week off there. We're back in racing action, but it should be another good night of racing here.
Oh my goodness, I'll tell you what, ever since this new tire setup, it just, let me look at that. You're seeing the crowd right now jam-packed for our hot laps, for practice, right? And we've got, last I checked, 18 cars in the field tonight, possibly more as they trickle in. So we have jam-packed action for you all night from Knoxville. And of course, coming into this, the talk of the entire, really last month are the standings and just how close we are. Even closer than last season, if you can believe it. Dylan Perry back on top, but really only a 27-point lead. Behind that, you've got Jacob Laster, Aiden Young, and Brandon Bender rounding out your top five, but a couple of rookies in the top 10. Will it be Austin McGlone, Caleb Ramsey jumping up even further tonight? We shall see, but really it's been the back and forth heavyweight battle of Dylan Perry and Tater Williams, and kind of slowly but surely coming out of nowhere, Brandon Combs, what used to be a part-time driver, I got to think this guy might be putting more wins on the board before this year is done. This part-time driver is actually racing again tonight, so it's starting to feel more like full-time. Like I said, a couple of wins. Once he got that first one off his back, and off the schneid, he sure got back into form, the driver that we know he can be. So So far this season, we've seen 4 different winners. Wouldn't be shocked if we see a new one tonight. You're looking at the beautiful just views as that track already looks a little slick. It's darkening up. Not the brightest sunshine out there as they pass the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame. Getting a look at that Coolray machine there and some red and white colors of the 22 of Brandon Bender. We're going to have a few different camera angles there for you tonight. And just like that, we're inching along in practice, Travis.
As we have hot laps out here now, Austin McGlone, that's a driver we haven't seen in a while, obviously can win in this series. So it's good to have him back here. As it looks like we have 18 cars currently, actually 19 cars now, ready to take on this Knoxville Raceway here in this Hall of Fame Classic. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, Adam will bust out his notebook, and we will get closer and closer to Houston guttering time trials.
Dyer Trucking in Mohawk, Tennessee is family owned and operated, and their main goal is to always please their customers and deliver their freight in a timely manner. If you need it hauled and you're in East Tennessee, the number you need is 423-393-4229. That's 423-393-4229. Dyer Trucking's also on Facebook. Pick up the phone and give Brad and his family a call today. Dyer Trucking. If you need it, they can get it. Find them on Facebook.
People want to have a one-stop shop. They need us for now all these different services, not just the heating and air side.
When things are going wrong, you want the company that's going to be able to get things done as fast as possible for you.
Today, we're going to be in over 600 homes. What the customers can count on is we're going to send a competent person to your home with a vehicle that's stocked and prepared. We're going to do what's right.
Right now, we're waiving our $79 service fee with any Coolray, Brightbox, or Mr. Plumber service.
Welcome back to Knoxville Raceway as we get ready for tonight's Hall of Fame Classic here at this historic Speedway in Iowa. And Adam, just like always, plenty of storylines and point implications coming here tonight with this 50-lapper.
Yes, and per usual with Adam's Notebook, I do want to jump into some news and nuggets before we get into tonight's action. Now, if you head to the Pro Late Model Dirt Series iRacing page, you will see the Icebreaker 100 roster update. As of a couple days ago, there are a lot of names, a lot of big names, and a lot of names who are trying to really make a name for themselves to the public on this list. So it's something you're going to want to check out. And of course, some details on that, because they're 80% full. So as I've been updating this, it was 60% not long ago. Well, we are 80% full, and that was as of, checking my watch not too long ago. So we may be even closer to 85, maybe inching closer to 90% full. So you're going to want to get locked in tonight, in fact. Now, the 4th annual Icebreaker 100. If you're asking, okay, what is this? I haven't tuned in for a little while. Well, it's filling up fast, and you're going to want to reserve your spot today to compete against the best. Ricky Thornton Jr., Devin Moran, Ashton Winger, among many, many more for $1,000 to win. In fact, all top 10 get a payout. And this year's event is also going to feature bonus money. That's right, AC Customs Graphics LLC. The prelim night, it's two $50 to win prelim races. Then you've got C. Wright's Motorsports Pole Award. $100 is going to go to whoever sets the quick time for the main event. And then C. Wright Motorsports has $25 to the first driver out on prelim night from room A and B. So you're going to want to sign up today, because once spots are gone, they legit are gone. So stick with this entry form. You can find that on the Pro Late Model Dirt Series Facebook page. You'll find the form there, lead you to a Google Doc. You're going to have an entry fee of $30. PayPal, PLMDirtSeries@gmail.com, or Cash App, $PLMDirtSeries. And it's going to be broadcasted live, as always, right here on Extreme eSpeed TV. Now, that's December 19th for the AC Customs Graphics LLC prelim night. Then December 20th for that 4th annual Icebreaker 100 at Cedar Lake Speedway. 8 p.m. Eastern Time for both nights. Going to be the fixed setup for the Pro Late models. Now, another thing that's opening up soon, registration-wise, on September 21st, we've got registration open for the opening for the inaugural Open Wheel Modified Series powered by the Extreme eSpeed Network. It'll open at noon on Thursday, September 21st. So mark your calendars. Thursday, September 21st. Only 60 spots will be open, and they'll be first come, first served. And when we hit 60, registration is going to get shut down, and we'll start a waiting list for drivers to bump up. And I do want to backtrack. We do sometimes have to bump drivers if you're not paying. We've had several drivers who haven't paid that icebreaker fee. You're not part of that 80%. So you want to get back on there, get your payments locked in, and you'll be locked in. So that one for the Open Wheel Modified Series, it'll be an open setups, points racing, points payout, and broadcasted live. Now, a few more things to hit on. A little teaser. I don't know if you saw this, but a day ago, Race Director Cody Early put a teaser out there. I'm not going to expound anymore. But California dreaming, possibly. We might be seeing a first ever West Coast trip to California in 2024. You'll find out more this October, and maybe not. Maybe I'm just saying all this to get you hyped up for no reason. In that case, you can, of course, let Cody Early know. But I think there are some big announcements coming ahead. Now, speaking of announcements, I'm proud to say we're here in Knoxville. We rolled in with the trucks about 12 hours ago. So we got the 4th annual Hall of Fame Classic tonight from Knoxville Raceway. And I'll tell you what, there's a lot on the line. Like Travis alluded to, we've got Dylan Perry and Tater Williams continuing to duke it out, but coming our hard charger really of this season. We like to give it to you each race, but of the season, probably Brandon Combs. 2 wins up to 13th, not even racing in all the races, but I'll tell you what, it won't be long till he cracks the top 10. But you've got other rookies in front of him like Austin McGlone, Caleb Ramsey. And even if I'm looking at the standings now, do my eyes deceive me? No, they're not. Andy Piercefield sitting 10th in standings right now. So there's storylines everywhere, and we're hoping to get to them tonight. But until then, Travis, looks like we got about 6.5 minutes remaining in practice. I'm thrilled to bring you yet another notebook tonight. Excited to do it again next week. And if I'm looking here at the calendar for the 23rd of August, we'll have the first annual USA 75 from Cedar Lake. And then we'll close out August with the first annual Show Me State 100. So a lot to look forward to. You see the sky is getting darker. It's that time of year where summer's slowly winding down, but the racing is only heating up and getting brighter for these stars. So with that, that is tonight's Adam's Notebook.
So plenty of things coming here from Knoxville tonight as we get ready to go. Hot laps, though, continue out on the track here before we move on to Houston guttering time trials. It's Jacob Lassiter atop the charts, Tater Williams second, John Hine third, Brandon Combs fourth, and Austin McClellan fifth. That's your top five here as we get ready to go. Just minutes away from Houston guttering time trials. Do look at, we have two rookies here tonight, Tyler Benefield and Caleb Ramsey, as we have 19 cars set to take on this Knoxville Raceway stage. But before we do, we'll take one more quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have Houston guttering time trials here from Knoxville.
It rose from humble beginnings in the Valley of the Sun. A sprint car racer saw the need for racing shirts. And now, the vision of Carl Korbacher has resulted in Arizona Sport Shirts helping racers across America spread their message. For the best custom-designed shirts, hoodies, caps, koozies, and much more, go to ArizonaSportShirts.com. Be part of history. Arizona Sport Shirts, the original racing shirt.
People want to have a one-stop shop. They need us for now all these different services, not just the heating and air side.
When things are going wrong, you want the company that's going to be able to get things done as fast as possible for you.
Today, we're going to be in over 600 homes. What the customers can count on is we're going to send a competent person to your home with a vehicle that's stocked and prepared. We're going to do what's right.
Right now, we're waiving our $79 service fee with any Coolray, Brightbox, or Mr. Plumber service.
107 Tire and Service Center is your one-stop shop for all your car care needs, and they're now a Cooper Tire dealer. American tires for the American worker. Buy a set of Cooper tires and get free tire rotation and repairs for the life of the tire. They have a 12,000-mile or 12-month warranty on most repairs. Check out 107 Tire and Service Center. They're located at 6256 Irwin Highway, Chuckey, or call them at 423-620-4970. For all your car care needs, 107 Tire and Service Center. Family owned and operated. And their number one goal is your satisfaction. Find 107 Tire and Service Center on Facebook or call them today at 423-620-4970.
Welcome back to Knoxville Raceway as we get ready to go racing. We'll move on to Houston Guttering Time Trials next. And Adam, looking at the hot lap charts, anyone on there jump out to you as a possible quick time here tonight at Knoxville?
Yeah, I'm looking, obviously, he's the fastest one out there being Jacob Lassiter, but I've got to say, he's sitting third in our point standings. That first win of the year has just been so elusive. I'm probably going to sound like the broken record. I'm gonna bring his name up every week because I really feel like he's got the legit shot. I think he's really done a good job of managing this new tire setup, and I think we're moments away from him really breaking through and capitalizing on the right night. So I think that's what we're going to get from Jacob Lassiter. It's good to see. I'm not sure what to expect tonight from him, but it's good to see John Hine back in the mix. Good to see, and you mentioned it earlier, having Austin Magone back. Some familiar faces, but some faces we just haven't seen in a while. So I'm looking forward to it. It looks like the drivers are getting lined up now for Houston Guttering Time Trials, and we're about to introduce you to some of the best drivers in the late model series.
So Houston Guttering Time Trials coming up next. Cars will get ready to go out there. We've got 19 cars here tonight for this Coolray Pro Late Model Dirt Series visit to Knoxville, Iowa, here for the Hall of Fame Classic. It'll be 50 laps, that feature event will be. As you see, Colin Voiles out there. Dylan Perry will be amongst that first group. Looks like John Hine, Caleb Ramsey, Brandon Combs, Tater Williams. So between Tater Williams, Brandon Combs, and Dylan Perry all in this first group, Adam, that's three drivers that have really dominated as of late. But we're going to get started now with that P7 machine. It's Dylan Perry out of Ringgold, Georgia. He's got CVR Race Cars, Extreme eSpeed TV, Evans Air Conditioning, Piercefield Media Group, Coolray, Rapid Race Graphics, Harrison Automotive, Chattanooga Valley, Newt's Lawn Care, Phantom Race Engine, Shipbanger Racing, Bang & Sets by CBR, B&B Custom Baits, and Combs Cuts on that machine. As it looks like you've got that 1C machine.
That's right, out there now. Colin Voiles from Decatur, Illinois, Building Systems of Illinois, Logitech, Rich DPC, Trimby & Son Concrete, GT Omega Racing Simulators with that Kryptonite chassis and Mullins Race Engine. Got two top fives on the season, or this series.
Also out on the tracks, that 182 at Tater Williams, our 2021 champion from Clifty, Kentucky. Coolray, Chipbanger Racing, Combs Cuts, B&B Custom Baits, DPR, Bang & Sets by CBR, Bluegrass Motorsports Media. As it's Dylan Perry atop the charts, Tater Williams second with a 13.25. Colin Voiles just off pace there of Williams with an 18.29.
So we got Perry, Voiles, Williams, your top three, and in that order is how they are qualifying so far.
So Dylan Perry with an 18.09 fastest lap so far as Tater Williams jumps back in front of Colin Voiles ever so slightly with an 18.20. Colin Voiles third fastest, an 18.21.
Now out there, Brandon Combs, Cincinnati, Ohio boy, with Coolray Heating and Air, Chip Bangers Racing, B&B Custom Baits, FHP Consulting, Combs Cuts, Bluegrass Motorsports, Goat Farm Posse, with the Longhorn Chassis and Comet Lightning Engine.
Also out there, it's the 13 machine. It's our rookie of Caleb Ramsey from Lafayette, Tennessee. Mud Duck Racing, Speed Shop, Spartan Transportation, Sweet Victory Apparel, C High Performance. It's a Warrior race car. As Brandon Combs will shoot up to second at 18.15. Also on the track is that 71 of John Hine from St. Louis, Missouri. Coolray, the Cruise Shop Gambler Motorsports. That's a Rayburn race car. He's second fastest currently, just behind Dylan Perry. So they will finish up this second group of three, as Brandon Combs will inch ahead of John Hine. It's all about the inches there, as it's just about 1/100th of a second.
Tip of the nose getting past him there.
Good to see John Hine back in that 71 here in the Coolray Pro Late Model Dirt Series.
Jacob Blaster, the one I said to watch tonight out there from Dresden, Tennessee, with Hot Lap Heroes Racing 789 Designs, Max Green, and the Sud Shop with that Rayburn race car chassis and custom race engine.
Also on the track, another Gambler Motorsports. It's the 55 machine of Steven Spees from Lee Summit, Missouri. Midwest Turbo and Performance iRacing, as he will make his next start here in the league.
And then finally, back in action here in the Pro Late Model Dirt Series. Good to see Austin McGlone out of Hillsborough, Kentucky, with Coolray Heating and Cooling, KMJ Graphics, Chip Bangers Racing, Project X Coatings, and Goat Farm Posse.
Steven Speed shoots to the top of the charts in 18.06, just edging out the P7 of Dylan Perry. And now Austin McGlone will shoot to the top.
Wow, look at that. I kind of thought the heavy hitters who started off Houston Guttering Time Trials would kind of stay at the top, but these drivers are finding some speed. McGlone, Speeds, then Perry.
Saw Steven Spees in a Coast to Coast Racing League race on Sunday night. Those late models in that series, he's had a good summer season. So seeing him atop the charts in second, not a surprise.
Now we've got that 75 machine of Andy Piercefield out there, coming out of 2 top 10s from his last 3 races with Coolray, Extreme, eSpeed TV, Masterbit Comet engines, and Evans air conditioning.
Also on the track is that 12 machine. It's Jordan Van Westen. Del Rapids, South Dakota, Pizza Ranch, Norby's Bar and Grill, TNC Self-Service. Rapid Fitness, that's an MB Custom and a Sput Race engine.
Now out there, the 41 machine of Brian Voiles out of Decatur, Illinois, with Trimby and Sun Concrete, that Longhorn chassis and Reunion race engine. So you kind of noticing a slightly different format tonight. We're seeing about 3 cars out there rolling out at a time. So quick pace tonight, Houston Guttering Time Trials.
Brian Voiles, 11th fastest in 18.50. As Jordan Van Westen, 9th fastest, 18.33. Andy Piercefield, currently 12th fastest in 18.66. As we watch this group finish up their laps. And you see through the corner, hard to see somewhat. There is that lip there, that edge on the inside, as that will come into play throughout the night as we will round out this group. As Brian Voiles jumps to 8th fastest, a 18.31. Van Westen 10th, Andy Piercefield 12th fastest. Now out on the track is that 22 machine. It's Brandon Bender from Minford, Ohio. B&B Custom Baits, Limitless Custom Creations, Chip Banger Racing, Coolray on that Longhorn chassis. Also out on the track, Adams, that rookie, Tyler Benefield.
Yeah, Tyler joining us, what I believe is the first time this season, so excited to see. We got a beautiful black and red scheme going on right now. Looks like McGriff Tire Service making his first laps around as You see McGlone first.
Brandon Marlowe, also newer to the series here in the middle of the season, as he's got his 37 machine. He had a good run earlier this summer. As Benefield's 12th fastest, 18.34. Marlowe's 4th fastest, an 18.11. So Bender up to 7th fastest. So 15 times in the books. As they look to improve, Marlowe will complete his 3rd lap. And he'll move up to 3rd fastest. Brandon Bender up to 5th. Benefield up to 10th. And just like that, Adam, we're down to that final group of 4. And it looks like it's going to be that old 69 of Aiden Young.
Aiden pulling out right now. Dalton, New Hampshire. Beautiful gray and blue scheme there.
Also out on the tracks, that 117 of Joshua Johnson. Waynesville, Georgia, Vortex Wraps, Branson Woodward Racing. It's a Barry Wright race car. And Adam, you've got the old director, Mr. Early.
Cody Early from Greenville, Tennessee, race director himself with that Bass Pro Shops Johnson City Toyota Warrior race car. That ECR race engine. Got 6 top 10s. Looking for more in this series before we close out the 2023 season. Still a lot of racing to go.
Zayden Young will shoot up to the 8th fastest, an 18.17. Cody Early, 15th fastest. Joshua Johnson, 10th fastest.
As Aiden Young jumps up to 8th with 18.17. So by our math, we may have one more driver. Yep, there we go. The 221 of Brett Carlton from Royal Palm Beach, Florida with LTX Home Builders, water experts in LC Property Investments with that Rocket XR1 chassis and Southern style racing engine.
So there'll be one more driver trying to grab that top spot from Austin McGlone. See what Brett can do here on his first lap. First time's in the books for Brett Carlton. He will be 13th fastest. Again, a fast group here tonight, Adam, all within a half of a second of each other.
Yeah, that tells me that it's going to be a pretty tight race tonight. We got some wide areas like what we just saw him driving through there, but there might be some cautions tonight. They've been running pretty well in this series lately, but all these drivers have the ability to really run similar speeds, so it's going to get competitive tonight, and I think we'll see that even starting with our carrier heat races right after this.
Next up, we will have those carrier heat races, and with that, Brett Carlton will be done. Quick time tonight, it's going to be the 141 of Austin McGlone, so welcome back, Austin McGlone. He kicks it off in fine speed here tonight at Knoxville, as we will get ready for carrier heat race number 1 here, moving on from Houston guttering time trials.
That's right, carrier heat race number 1 with Austin McGlone, our fastest man of the night, side by side with Brandon Bender. Behind them, Tater Williams and Brett Carlton, with Jordan Van Westen rounding out the rear.
side by side through turns 3 and 4. Our carrier heat race is about to begin. Carrier heat race number 1 with Austin McGlone. Brandon Bender is green at Knoxville, and we are racing here. Austin McGlone down to the inside. Tater Williams following him through as Brandon Bender and Carlton looking to use that outside line.
Good run. Everybody kind of giving themselves some space right now, but still good racing action, especially for third. But McGlone Bender, we've kind of got a little bit of a follow the leader just about a lap in.
So Austin McGlone will lead as Bender following him in his track, as Tater Williams now in that third position, Carlton back to fourth, and it's Jordan Van Westen rounding out the field. As we inch closer to that halfway mark, we'll have 4 laps to go next time by.
Yeah, hoping these drivers are just kind of getting a feel for the track right now. Not much, I don't know if they have the ability at this point to really make any desperate moves. I'm not sure there's a reason to right now, but I think this track is, it's got more grip than I expected this time of night, but I do expect it to, I mean, what we're putting down with these carrier heat races, it's going to slicken up.
Seeing what it has to offer here early, Austin McGlone looking to capture that pole position for tonight's feature event. You can see Bender searching up higher onto the corners, trying to find a move. But Adam, the way they're racing around here could play into some long green flag runs tonight, especially if, like we've seen the last couple races, passing is at a premium.
Yeah, I think that's fine. As you get a little bit of a move there from Bender, probably the first real threat we've seen from McGlone. But yeah, I think if we see some green flag runs, I think that's going to be good. With this tire wear, it's really going to, I mean, strategy is going to be so crucial for tonight.
So the final lap is underway here at Knoxville. Austin McGlone leads Brandon Bender. They'll go down the backstretch for the final time here in carrier heat race number 1. Through 3 and 4, Bender will follow the 141 through. And carrier heat race number 1 goes to Austin McGlone. Bender second, Williams third, Carlton fourth, and Van Westen in fifth.
So carrier heat race number 2 will feature Steven Spees and Brandon Combs on the front row, with Joshua Johnson and Brian Boyles behind them, and Caleb Ramsey rounding out 5th.
Another great crowd here for the Coolray Pro Late Model Dirt Series here tonight in Knoxville. Of course, what you would expect from this track. Two by two around the track, they get ready to go back to green.
Pace car is off right now. Steven Spees, Brandon Combs side by side. We had the green machine
Of Josh Johnson in that second row behind Spees as they head off into turn number 1. You've got Combs to the outside, side by side down the backstretch for the lead. They'll stay side by side for the third place as well, as Steven Spees Spees tries to battle back on that inside.
They're trying to keep it competitive. Oh, it looks like Joshua Johnson twisted.
And the caution flag will wave as Joshua Johnson swings around as he gets back going the right direction.
I'm not quite sure how he got caught up, but yeah, he got caught up in a hard spot. And I don't think he saw it coming.
So he's gotten it straightened back out as he'll try to move it up and through the center of the field here, get back up into racing for the lead as he started on that inside row number 2. It looked like he was trying to maybe force it there in a hole that got closed up as those 3 cars battled for position. But they're lined back up behind that pace car as we're going to get ready to go back to racing action here in Carrier Heat Race number 2.
And he'll hold his third place spot, thankfully, I guess, when the caution came out. So Spees, Combs, Johnson, Boyles, and Ramsey. Yeah, next time, kind of hope the driver's behind.
So Spees and Combs on that front row as they started. Get us going back to racing action here in Carrier Heat Race number 2. Should have 4 Carrier Heat races tonight. Last one will have 4 cars in it as we've got 5 here set to go back to racing action. Steven Spees, Brandon Combs, back at Knoxville, green flag waves.
First turn, Speed's holding it kind of in that middle lane. Got guys on the outside and inside wanting it right now, but Speed's able to get up top and block the hard-charging Combs. Combs going to try and get down a little bit in there. Ooh, has to kind of let up just a bit. Johnson's still going strong in the middle.
Johnson coming up from behind of Combs there in the 3rd spot as Combs still trying to chase down Spees. The front 2 have now broken away as Joshua Johnson's back into this group. Brian Voiles will go around Johnson as now it's Caleb Ramsey looking to the outside as well as Johnson stays to that inside there. We'll see what you can do from the inside lane and the outside line as it'll be Brian Voiles with the advantage down the backstretch.
Well, a little bit of contact there, bumping. And it looks like Voiles with a clean what he pulled out from Johnson. And Ramsey's doing the same now.
So Ramsey will move out in front. Ramsey slapped Johnson up. As it still Spees out front, Brandon Combs following in second. Brian Voiles now up to that 3rd spot. Good run for him as we've got 3 laps to go, 2 to go this time by. Coming to the white flag, it's Spees out in front of Combs. They've broken away from Voiles. It's going to be a 2-car race to the finish here. As Combs continues to use that outside line, you've got to think maybe that will come in through that 50 lap. They'll touch down the backstretch. He'll move to the inside, slide in front of the 55. Here comes Brian Voiles. There's more contact.
Oh, who's going to get to the line? Oh, it looks like Speed just edges out Combs.
Spees by a tip of the nose there in front of Combs, and we'll move on to Carrier Heat Race number 3.
Carrier Heat Race number 3, as the sun has fully set on Knoxville Raceway, will feature Brandon Marlowe and John Hine in the front row, Colin Boyles and Jacob Lassiter 2nd, and Andy Piercefield 5th.
So they will roll on off John Hine, who had a sabbatical from the series here this summer, lining up outside of row number 1. And then, of course, Jacob Lassiter there outside of row number 2. He was fastest in hot lap, so you know that's a fast 51 hot rod back there.
Yeah, these are kind of the sneaky drivers. These are the ones that these are good racers as pace car pulls off.
2x2 down the front stretch they'll go. We've got 8 more laps here in Carrier Heat Race number 3. We are green. Marlowe and Hine will take us off into turn number 1. Colin Voiles to the inside. He'll make it a 3-car battle off of turn number 2.
That's right. First couple of races, they've each kind of ramped up their intensity. We might see even more here with some drivers that are very even with different skill levels. Different styles, really, to say, is Hine still holding strong, and really what we've seen each leader do is kind of hold that higher lane. But, you know, I'll give credit to the guys who continue to run second and third. They're trying to forge their way, trailblaze that middle lane. You start to see certain areas it's getting darker. John Hine, he's got exactly where he wants to be, in the right dark lane.
That outside line really coming in turns 1 and 2. As you can see, the advantage for Lassiter there. Marlowe will fight back down the backstretch, but out of turn number 4, it's going to be Lassiter moving into that second position behind John Hine. Colin Voiles now runs 4th. Andy Piercefield in 5th.
Yeah, now we've kind of entered that follow the leader status. It's still about halfway to go in Carrier Heat Race number 3. Should have one more to come tonight. Hine gets a little bump in the back from Lassiter. 3rd place in the point standings. Ooh, a little bit of a passenger view of that John Hine machine. And if you're Lassiter, you might be getting a little tired of seeing that view. You want to get up in front of it. You get a good look there. Love these camera angles. I know little brother Andy, a little nervous trying out some new ones, but he's doing a great job. You see how close they get to the wall there, and it is really, I mean, Lassiter's strategy, it feels like waiting for the guy in front of you to make a mistake. And, you know, like in any sport, when the guy in front of you, has a misstep, you want to take advantage of that opportunity.
So 2 laps to go. John Hine continues to lead a 4-car breakaway here as Lassiter is in 2nd. Marlowe runs 3rd still, as it's going to be white flag this time by. They've got 1 more lap to get by that 71 of John Hine.
Yeah, and I don't want to do the jinx, but I do think John Hine's got this one locked down. He's run a heck of a Carrier Heat Race here.
Through 3 and 4 for the final time. Carrier Heat Race number 3 will go to John Hine, Jacob Lassiter 2nd, Brandon Marlowe 3rd, Colin Voiles 4th, and Andy Piercefield in 5th. And with that, we'll move on to Carrier Heat Race number 3.
And Carrier Heat Race number 4 will feature some wise men of Dylan Perry, Aiden Young, Tyler Benefield, and Cody Early.
As they will roll out onto the track, our 4th and final Carrier Heat Race of the evening.
That's right, and after this, like the Black Eyed Peas said, let's get it started.
So that pace car dives on off of turn number 4. Dylan Perry, Aiden Young, Benefield, and Early in this one. As that green flag waves, Dylan Perry will shoot out front. As Aiden Young to that outside. Benefield will move to the inside of that 69 like we've seen all night. See if he's able to hold off Young, as Young will have the momentum down the backstretch. Benefield moves into that 2nd spot, as now Early will look to the inside of Aiden Young. Dylan Perry's able to separate. He's out by a half of a second here very quickly, 1 lap into this one, as they drive by that National Sprint Car Hall of Fame in turn number 2.
Yeah, you and I, we had a chance to tour there. Spent a lot more money than we wanted to in the gift shop, but we got some good things for the home offices. Yeah, look at that. Cody Early, they get a dive in there, cuts in front of Aiden Young. Successful dive in front of Aiden Young.
Little brother Andy over on top of the Hall of Fame here tonight, so we'll see what kind of drone shots we can get from him later in this one. As out front, it's still Dylan Perry, your leader. He leads Benefield Early and Young.
That's right. You can just kind of see it. It looks like Dylan Perry's locked in tonight, and I think he wants to extend that points lead. I think there were rumors about maybe a fall off, a drop off, and before last week, not being in victory lane since May, it's kind of like, okay, he silenced the chatter, and I think he wants to put that to a permanent end with maybe a back-to-back win tonight.
So past halfway, 3 laps to go. Throw him up for Dale as Dylan Perry's lead now 1 second over Benefield. Benefield's got a comfortable position on Cody Early, and then Aiden Young back and forth trying to track down Early. Of course, all these positions matter as it will affect where you start in that feature event. So 1 position in this heat could mean 3 positions in that feature and where you start. And Adam, with the tire wear and also the shorter 50-lap race tonight, it'll be interesting to see how that strategy and race plays out.
Yeah, and what's been fun is it's new every week, and we get to see it at a new track, so it is like a new thing each week as Dylan Perry rounds this out, and he should be your Carrier Heat Race number 4 winner.
He'll make his way through 3 and 4. And down the front stretch, Dylan Perry wins your Carrier Heat Race number 4, Benefield second, Early in 3rd, and Young in 4th. And that means our last chance showdown.
That's right. The last chance showdown, a 3-man fight. Jordan Van Westen, Joshua Johnson, Andy Piercefield battling it out for pride and glory.
So this will set the 17th, 18th, and 19th starting positions in our feature event tonight. Of course, also gives some extra laps, 12 laps here in this Combs Cuts Last Chance Showdown. Don't tell this group of drivers green on your car is bad luck. It's similar paint schemes here.
Feels like a little St. Patrick's Day love. Look at that Evans machine. Kind of a newer scheme we've seen for Andy. I love that green and black there from Jordan Van Westen and Joshua Johnson. Looking real good sandwiched in the middle.
As that pace car pulls on off, we'll unwrap this sandwich and get ready to go here with our last chance showdown. Jordan Van Westen leads us to green. A dozen laps around Knoxville Raceway will set our field for tonight's Hall of Fame Classic at Knoxville Raceway.
Good start there. Pretty competitive run right now. Van Westen holding strong. Trying to keep pace in front as we get a beautiful overhead view. Ooh, it looks like Joshua Johnson trying to take advantage. Ekes in front of Van Westen. Piercefield kind of laying in the weeds. Ooh, Van Westen trying to make a move back on Johnson. Nearly getting there to the back quarter panel.
As Johnson pulls out to a lead here over Van Westen. As we'll see how hard Van Westen pushes it here. Johnson into the back.
Brutal.
As Johnson will regain the lead. A lot happened there on that last lap as it went back and forth, but it's Johnson back out front as he got into the rear of Van Westen there for a moment, closed them up tight, and then he was able to pull out and get back into that lead.
That's Pro Late Model Dirt Series racing. You gotta pucker up or shut up.
As they got separated here now, you've got this tight battle here as Andy Piercefield tries to close in on Van Westen. Johnson out by 0.6 of a second here with 8 laps to go.
Every 10th matters.
And you can see all 3 of these drivers up to that outside line, especially through 3 and 4, and now down into 1 and 2 as well. So it'll be interesting to see how this track changes throughout that 50-lap feature event. As right now it's Joshua Johnson halfway home to a last chance showdown event win.
Yeah, I don't want to crown him too early, but it does look like he's got this a strong run going.
As he's got 5 laps to go this time, you know he'd like to wrap this up and take home a last chance showdown victory. Coming to 4 laps to go here, Johnson, Van Westen, Piercefield, all separated by about half of a second between each of them as they make their rounds around the track here. You see Van Westen moving down, looking for some way to make up ground on Johnson out in front of him. As you would expect, he'd love to reel in Johnson and have another opportunity to battle for the win here. Van Westen up out of the groove there. That'll separate Johnson out further.
This is similar to kind of what we saw in that last Carrier Heat race where, Dylan Perry, he pulled away a little earlier, but when you get kind of that distance, it's hard to catch up for the rest of the field. Looks like final lap barring any chaos, should be Johnson, Van Westen, Piercefield.
As Johnson looks to extend his lead this last lap, he'll charge hard through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. He'll straighten it out down the front stretch, and it's Johnson with the last chance showdown win. Van Westen second, Piercefield in third. And with that, Adam, our field is set for this Hall of Fame Classic here at Knoxville Raceway. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have some pre-race talk along with that national anthem. But you're watching the Coolray Pro Late Model Dirt Series here on Extreme eSpeed TV.
People want to have a one-stop shop. They need us for now all these different services, not just the heating and air side.
When things are going wrong, you want the company that's going to be able to get things done as fast as possible for you.
Today we're going to be in over 600 homes. What the customers can count on is we're going to send a competent person to your home with a vehicle that's stocked and prepared. We're going to do what's right.
Right now, we're waiving our $79 service fee with any Coolray, Brightbox, or Mr. Plumber service.
Dyer Trucking in Mohawk, Tennessee is family owned and operated, and their main goal is to always please their customers and deliver their freight in a timely manner. If you need it hauled and you're in East Tennessee, the number you need is 423-393-4229. That's 423-393-4229. Dyer Trucking's also on Facebook. Pick up the phone and give Brad and his family a call today. Dyer Trucking. If you need it, they can get it. Find them on Facebook. .07 Tire and Service Center is your one-stop shop for all your car care needs, and they're now a Cooper Tire dealer. American tires for the American worker. Buy a set of Cooper tires and get free tire rotation and repairs for the life of the tire. They have a 12,000-mile or 12-month warranty on most repairs. Check out 107 Tire and Service Center. They're located at 6256 Irwin Highway, Chuckey, or call them at 423-620-4970. For all your car care needs, 107 Tire and Service Center. Family owned and operated. And their number one goal is your satisfaction. Find 107 Tire and Service Center on Facebook or call them today at 423-620-4970.
Welcome back to Knoxville Raceway. As we get ready to go, we'll have our pre-race festivities, including tonight's national anthem. And with that, we'll take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have tonight's feature event.
People want to have a one-stop shop. They need us for now all these different services, not just the heating and air side.
When things are going wrong, you want the company that's going to be able to get things done as fast as possible for you.
Today, we're going to be in over 600 homes. What the customers can count on is we're going to send a competent person to your home with a vehicle that's stocked and prepared. We're going to do what's right.
Right now, we're waiving our $79 service fee with any Coolray, Brightbox, or Mr. Plumber service.
Dyer Trucking in Mohawk, Tennessee is family owned and operated, and their main goal is to always please their customers and deliver their freight in a timely manner. If you need it hauled and you're in East Tennessee, the number you need is 423-393-4229. That's 423-393-4229. Dyer Trucking's also on Facebook. Pick up the phone and give Brad and his family a call today. Dyer Trucking. If you need it, they can get it. Find them on Facebook.
And just like that, we're back at Knoxville Raceway, Adam. We saw our carrier heat races. We saw our last chance showdown, as it's going to be Austin McGlone starting from the pole. Dylan Perry picked up a carrier heat race victory as well. Any picks here as we go into this 50-lap event?
You know, I kind of came into this one picking Jacob Laster. He's starting more middle of the pack. I still think he's going to work his way up. But Dylan Perry, there's just something about the way he hit the track from the start tonight that has me a little nervous. But I do know he usually runs, pretty close with Austin McGlone. So I think those two are going to be around each other quite a bit. But yeah, I think we're going to see a little bit of some familiar faces tonight. But I still think we're very close to seeing kind of a new season winner. We've got 4 so far between Perry, Williams, McGlone, and Combs. I think it could be This could be Laster's night, right? This could be Steven Speeds. There's names on here where if you were to fast forward and from the future tell me, hey, this guy got his first win tonight, not really much would shock me, especially with this new setup.
Well, with that, we're going to move on to our starting lineup for tonight's feature event.
That's right. Tonight's feature event from Knoxville Raceway will feature Austin McGlone out front, side by side with Steven Speeds. Behind them, row 2, John Hine and Dylan Perry. Row 3 of Brandon Bender and Brandon Combs. That's the Brandon row, with Jacob Laster and Tyler Benefield in row 4. Row 5 is Tater Williams and Ryan Boyles. Row 6 of Brandon Marlowe and Cody Early. Row 7, Brett Carlton and Caleb Ramsey. Row 8, Colin Boyles and Aiden Young. Row 9, Joshua Johnson and Jordan Van Westen, with Andy Piercefield rounding out the rear.
So they will get ready to go here at Knoxville Raceway. The crowd has filled back in. They've gotten their hot dogs and popcorn, and they are ready for this 50-lap show of the Coolray Pro Late Model Dirt Series. It's going to be Austin McGlone, Steven Spees, but first, that salute to the fans that are here. They'll go 4 wide around this Knoxville Raceway.
Always good to see that. A lot of appreciation for these fans, and we said it from the start of the broadcast from Hot Laps. They packed this place out. We've got a lot of viewers of listening on Extreme eSpeed TV and watching. This is also for you. You guys really make this series so fun and so competitive. So I want to thank you guys, and hopefully you all get to visit that National Sprint Car Hall of Fame museum at some point, because it's something to see. There's a lot of history, and these drivers one day want to be a part of it, yeah, they want to. These drivers, they're ready to paint the town red tonight, though.
As they will break away and get lined back up, ready to go.
Yeah, and I think these drivers are going to have to be starting out driving a little delicate. You don't want to kind of just go all out too early. So I think delicate's going to be kind of the way you want to start it out tonight, and then maybe get more aggressive.
So 2 by 2, the lights are off, but not this time. We'll wait for that next time, as that pace car will leave off of turn number 4. So 2 by 2 they go. Austin McGlone, Steven Spies, John Hine, Dylan Perry, your front 2 rows. 50 laps around this Knoxville Raceway. Adam, drop the green. We're racing in Knoxville.
That's right. Who's going to finish in the green tonight? Austin McGlone off to a great start.
Front 4 have broken away. You've got Bender leading that second group from the 5th position, as the front 4 are nose to tail. Brandon Combs would like to get up there, as he currently runs in 6th. Brian Boyles looks to the outside of Jacob Lassiter.
Man, these little dust in the air. McGlone, though. Oh my goodness. Pyro shooting up. Would hate to start a fire. Oh, man. Oh, they are thrilled about this at Knoxville.
We'll have to confirm with little brother Andy. He's manning that camera.
If you remember last year, little brother Andy had a very unfortunate 4th of July incident.
So Austin McGlone trying to hold off John Hine. This has become a 2-car breakaway out front, as we got lost into some of the pre-race pyrotechnics here. It looks like we're back to racing only here at Knoxville, as it's still Austin McGlone, John Hine. And Adam, I've got to think, I think this is John Hine's first race in this series with the new tire wear, so that could become something that comes into play for that 71 machine. Looking down through the field, there's a group of cars right here moving up through, all up 8 positions. Colin Boyles, Joshua Johnson, Andy Piercefield, they're all looking to move into the top 10.
Yeah, I've got kind of multiple thoughts on this in the sense that Tater and Cody kind of dropping back. Is that by strategy possibly? Because like you said, even McGlone, you brought up John Hine not being really familiar with the new tire setup, but the same can kind of be said for Austin McGlone. We haven't seen him for a little while, so hopefully these guys aren't burning up everything they've got to stay out front early on, because in about 20-25 laps, you're going to want as much grip as you can get. Hey, our hardest charger right now, sitting in 9th, Andy Piercefield. He said he wanted another top 10. He started actually last, already up to 9th. Good to see that 75 machine doing his thing in that Evans machine.
So interesting at play. You got Brett Carlton, Brandon Combs, Tater Williams all dropping back. Tater Williams dropping all the way back to the rear. But then you have Steven Spees, Dylan Perry, Brandon Bender staying up front. We saw this last week where Tater fell back all the way to the back, was unable to make his way up through the field. As we saw then, it gets really tough to even move past some of these cars with older tires. But Adam, just like that, we're 10 laps in as we have 20% of this 50-lap event in the books.
Yeah, we kind of expected this one to go a little more quickly. It's not really a track, and these aren't really drivers set up to have a ton of cautions. So I think it's going to be one of these races where it's like, oh my gosh, like these laps are taken away. These drivers are going to have to make a move and really make it now. I think you're going to want to get up front because I'll tell you what, if you're one of those up front drivers and you're not expecting many cautions or in restarts, I think everyone's going to have the same kind of tire wear. So I say, hey, hold that front line. If you're McGlone, Hine, and Spees, I think you're in a good spot right now. Where you get a little worried is if we do start to see some cautions come out.
Another thing we haven't had is we've had this 12-lap green flag run pretty spaced out around here. If this thing were to happen to stay green, Adam, Tater Williams is currently 13 seconds behind the leader. You would wonder if maybe that is just too much to overcome. So that is just something to pay attention to, as it's still Austin McGlone out front, in front of John Hines, Steven Spees, and Dylan Perry.
Yeah, that is very unfamiliar territory for Tater Williams, and it almost looks like the way he's kind of coasting and driving right now, like he is expecting maybe a caution or two, and I think that's a fair assessment. I mean, I don't know if we've had a 50-lap green flag run in this series in either quite some time or at all. So look at that, Van Weston taking the lead.
So Jordan Van Weston jumps out to the lead. Possibly Austin McGlone realizing that tire wear could come into play, as Van Weston was about a second and a half quicker than Austin McGlone's last lap. He was the only driver under 20 seconds, as he's going all to the wall here as he's coming up to Tater Williams. Tater Williams could be threatened to be put a lap down.
Well, and I see Johnson pulling up even better. He's starting to rise.
So Johnson coming alive here as he's up 11 spots, up into 6. He's looking to go into the top 10. And again, we've had some long green flag runs here as Tater Williams will go a lap down. But could we see this one go extremely long? It might be really hard for some of these drivers to get back up through the field, especially as you have Johnson, Piercefield, some other hungry drivers up towards the front currently.
Yeah, this is just so wild what we've seen with this new setup. Van Weston up 17 spots. Your leader, he's leading multiple laps right now, kind of teetering on the lap traffic, and so this is getting interesting now. Coming up on Brett Carlton, at what point do these drivers really start to make a move? Because we're going to be 20 laps in, almost halfway through the race in just a matter of moments, and no sign of a yellow yet.
Another thing to think about, I just noticed, cars that were under 20 seconds that last lap was Brett Carlton, Tater Williams, and Jordan Van Weston. That's our leader in these last two in the field. They're running the fastest. So Tater Williams' plan to drop to the back and save his tires, he's actually pushing some of the fastest laps right now with everyone up in front of him able to save some tires, and this group here at the end of the pack has gotten bunched up quickly here with that leader right behind him as we're getting closer and closer to halfway home here on lap number 21.
Yeah, this is just fascinating. You see the P7 in 7th right now. Dylan Perry, very good at kind of staying mysterious, mischievous. Getting so close to halfway through this race. Van Weston, Johnson, Voiles, I wish I could see a percentage of really tire wear and what's left on the treads, because it is starting to get to that point where if you have been holding on, you can really make up some time.
So you can see the rest of the field. There's Austin McGlone. He is running in second in that 140, and the leader is right there about a straightaway behind him, as that lead for Jordan Van Weston is 15 seconds, and you can see the urgency picking up slightly with the cars in front of him, as they continue to count down the laps. Again, though, Adam, this tire wear coming into play and making for some exciting action here all feature long.
Yeah, this is wild. You wouldn't have seen this earlier in the season, especially not last year. And so this is a treat. I think these drivers are all. I think they're all kind of looking at each other and say, okay, when are you going to make the move? When are you going to go? Because then I probably need to go. And you don't want to go too early, but you also don't want to go too late and leave a ton left on the table. So we are now halfway through this race, and you got to think now we're going to see some people starting to push it. As it looks like, yeah, it looks like we got the Tater Williams machine really starting to move up. He's already up now into 12th. And my goodness, he's starting to look hungry.
You see Dylan Perry. Oh, and there's the caution. It's Tyler Benefield around. You can see his car just don't look right. As that will be the caution. There goes that lead for Jordan Van Westen. And now it'll get interesting as we're halfway. As we will see how it plays out. And a weird race, Adam, that has played out so far, but now with half of it left, we'll see how it's going to close out.
Yeah, I think second half of this race is going to look a lot different, a lot more intense than the first half. I wouldn't be shocked if we see maybe a caution or two. We're working to just work out some technical difficulties. Bear with us one moment. As we are back now here on Extreme eSpeed TV. 24 laps to go when we get the green flag again. Just sorting a few things out in race control as there's a car just parked on the track.
So we'll get lined back up here. And it is an interesting fact there, Adam. So if you go a lap down the first half of the race, there is a wave around, so you can get that lap back. That caution came right at the halfway mark. So I believe we're going to have at least 2 drivers, possibly 3, that will be a lap down. So we'll get him lined back up. It's Jordan Van Westen, Johnson to his right, Aiden Young right behind Johnson, and the 41 of Brian Voiles to the inside and behind Van Westen. Green flag waves. We're halfway, and we're back to racing action here at Knoxville. Van Westen shoots out front. Johnson behind him. Brian Voiles looking to the inside as well.
Great restart there for Jordan Van Westen. Got 2 or 3 car lengths ahead of Johnson, but they're starting to even out right now. Aiden Young putting some pressure on Johnson. Oh, Aiden Young gets in front of Johnson.
So with Van Westen out front, this is what you look back at. You see Tater Williams now up to the 10th position, Adam, but he's got 9 drivers in front of him that are racing side by side. 3 wide. Oh, Spees makes a big move there as he'll have to back out. But this is what we saw the last couple of times when guys were trying to use their conserved tires to move back up through the field with cars racing side by side or even 3 wide. Oh, Van Westen goes around.
Oh,
caution flag will wave.
Going south for Van Westen, and he was having such a good run tonight. You got to think maybe a little bit of that tire wear didn't give him the best grip.
Andy Piercefield around as well. So Van Westen led some laps tonight, an exciting night for him out front. is not sure who got into Van Weston. We'll take a look in the booth and see if we can get better eyes on that. Little brother Andy checking the replay for us for information on this latest incident. It looked like confirmed. It looked like the 71 of John Hine may have gotten into the rear of Van Weston there, as they were all battling for position, so not necessarily a fault there, but just what had happened to Van Weston's machine. And we're getting ready to go back to green. Aiden Young, Colin Boyles now. We'll shake it up front, and now we'll shake it off as we've got 22 laps to go. Aiden Young leads us back to green.
Another strong restart from the leader, but it's really hard to pull away from the pack, it feels like.
As we have some drivers in this field, Aiden Young will pull away. Some drivers in this field, though, looking for redemption.
Oh, as you already see Dylan Perry in third. Not a good sign for the competition.
And Aiden Young out front. It's been a cruel summer for him so far, but he's got a lead here with 20 laps to go.
This tire compound is kind of like a love story for these drivers. They are big fans of it. No bad blood there. Looks like everyone's running clean right now.
Dylan Perry out front. It's been a great weekend here at Knoxville Raceway. Tim McGraw opened earlier in the week. I know that was a big one for you, Adam, that we missed, but the town of Knoxville busy with plenty of action, and the action continues here tonight on the track. It's Aiden Young, Dylan Perry, Spees, and Adam. Tater Williams is still back there in that 7th position.
He is, but he's fearless right now, and I'll tell you what, he is making headway at this point, so we'll see if he can continue to climb up right now. I'd like to see him in the top 5 and maybe the next 5 laps, because if we could stay green here, it's going to be hard to make some passes without a little bit of help.
He does have some blank space in front of him here as he tries to track down Austin McGlone, who's now trying to work on that Joshua Johnson. Joshua Johnson, even where he's at, still our hard charger right now, up 11 spots from where he started, as Austin McGlone will go 2 for 1 through 3 and 4. He'll move in front of Colin Boyles as well, as now he moves into the 4th position as Boyles battles back.
Yeah, a lot of these drivers, I mean, you see Dylan Perry, he's got a reputation for really just kind of holding on and doing it. His reputation is, I'm going to find a way to catch back up. But you see all these other drivers, these hard chargers, I'm looking at Aiden Young up 15, Colin Boyles up 10, Joshua Johnson up 11. They're seeing red right now. So I think they have plenty of opportunity to get up there and hold it once they're up there. What we're seeing Aiden Young do right now.
As we watch Aiden Young's style here, as he's got Dylan Perry looking to his inside. And you got to think Tater Williams back in 7th. Never in his wildest dreams would he think this would play out similar to that last race where he was just unable to make his way back up to the front.
I do want to point out, you've got John Hine sitting in 12th right now, and he may be getting a little angry letter from Van Weston. I'm like, hey, dear John, maybe don't do that again, but I don't think there's any bad blood there, like you said. Oh, caution comes out.
As it looks like Brett Carlton involved. Brian Boyles possibly involved as well, as it looks like. Oh, I would say Brian Boyles definitely involved there. And he knows all too well at this point that is going to need some work done to it. As he's going to need to get away that car.
I'm excited. When we get to talk to our top 3 podium finishers, I want to kind of hear from their perspective. Did they foresee a caution coming here? Did they think more would be coming? Because for the guys who finished on top, they're going to look like geniuses, right? Because they timed it perfectly, their strategy worked out. But I didn't really see some of these cautions coming, and maybe that's the kind of a credit to the tire wear.
Well, Aiden Young is not out of the woods yet as he looks to battle to the finish here with a dozen laps to go, and he's going to have to drop the anchor to try to pull away here on that P7 machine.
Another gorgeous night here. Another gorgeous August night here in Knoxville. Love to see that. And for some, it's crazy because you have some of these drivers who are having a great night, but then you got, you see the 22 machine. He's like, all right, tonight it's just a picture to burn at this point. Like we can regroup, we can try it again, next week. And yeah, I appreciate all the fans being out here. Starting to cool down, definitely a cooler season, and little brother Andy's got his cardigan on.
I forgot that little Andy existed back there. As we get ready here, as you see the light bulb or flash bulbs from the cameras, we've got a picture to burn here as we go back to green. And is it going to be a hero or anti-hero winning this one here at Knoxville tonight? Dylan Perry to the inside of Aiden Young. You've got Spees and McGlone behind him side by side as well.
I think that anti-hero you talked about might be Dylan Perry, the one people love to hate.
It makes me think back to some of that racing back to December that we had here as we get ready to go. Single file here up front, 11 laps to go. Dylan Perry looking to the inside. Aiden Young will battle back on the outside. Oh, they make contact off of turn number 2.
Well, and that's what you're going to have to do. You call it what you want, but it's going to have to be death by 1,000 cuts. If you're going to try and get into Dylan Perry, you're going to have to do it that way. And I think he knows that the guys are watching. Ooh, caution coming out right now.
Caution comes out, and that green flag run had that P7, that lavender haze, all in the mirror of that 69 machine.
And I think all you had to do was stay. And I think, things are moving so fast right there that, that's just what's gonna happen.
So we've got 11 laps to go. Someone's going to have champagne problems at the end of this one, as this one's going to be worth celebrating on this as they look to pick up some good karma here from Knoxville as we head into the next phase of this season.
Yeah, and I'm looking at some of the guys who, we do have a little bit of lap traffic. Our guys are just way back there, and, when this field, like the highway don't care. This series won't wait around for you, so I think these drivers, whoever wins tonight, they're gonna be. It's something that you don't really dream of wins like this in your wildest dreams. You just want to make it to daylight with your best guys around you, and I think there's gonna be a big celebration after this race when the midnight rain falls, and I'm ready for a mean party.
So these drivers up front know it all too well that they want a clean finish here. So it goes. As this August evening of racing moves on,
I'm kind of now cheering for Dylan Perry because I'm the kind of guy. I'm a little bit of a petty Betty. I'm a little bit like, okay, I kind of like playing the villain. So I'm the kind of guy who's gonna say, hey, I don't care how long you've been in this series. You're on your own, kid. I'm gonna come. I'm gonna take it. And I think I'm kind of pulling for Dylan Perry in the announcer's booth. I kind of want him back on the podium.
As you see, Tater Williams still back in that 7th spot, so you're going to wonder if we do get the chance to talk to him, if he thinks back on this and thinks that maybe he should have said no to that strategy coming into tonight. But, he's in the back there, and he knows those drivers. He's thinking, I bet you think about me, as he's back there trying to get up to that front.
Well, and with this new tire compound, like, everything's changed, and it's like, and we know it all too well that these drivers, they're the best in this series for a reason, and they're in this series for a reason, and they're good at making kind of these adjustments and changing. So I'm eager to see what they do for these last 10 laps because it's going to be a shootout, and I wish you would kind of tell some of your friends to tune in because right now we are going green, and you're going to see the sparks fly here right from Knoxville.
as they head off into turn number 1. That invisible string between Aiden Young and Dylan Perry remains, as now Austin McGlone joins the picture as well. Steven Spees in that 55 machine, he's not out of it either as he runs in the 4th, as Dylan Perry slides across that nose of the 69. John Hine in the back looks to go around. Caution flag will wave. Carl's hit the ball. Ooh, Jordan Van Westen Knights gets even harsher, and now as we will get moved. So we'll get back here from this caution. Nobody, no crime there as we get ready to line them back up. We'll have 8 laps to go. And really, since about lap 15, there's been some drivers maybe questioning their strategy here.
And the track we're seeing right now, it's slick, so it's hitting a little different right now. But who's going to be that mastermind? Who's going to say, okay, would've, could've, should've? I don't care. I'm going to make a play tonight, and I'm gonna come home to the checkered, because this is one of the more unique races that I think we've called this season. You're mixing in new tires with really also drivers that we haven't seen. Some of these drivers we haven't seen in over a month. So there's a lot that's kind of different, and they're making this kind of a great war out there for us. And whoever wins, it's going to be their wonderland, really.
So at this point, you would think it's nice to have a friend, but I don't know how many friends are out there, as we. As you got to think, some of these cars that have been around each other are thinking, we are never getting back together after this.
I'll tell you what, what solves all problems on the track? You know what's better than revenge? Getting a win.
So the lights are off on that pace car. Beautiful night here at Knoxville. I would say I'd rather be here at Knoxville, Iowa than Paris on this evening. And you got to think, this tire wear, we've talked about it a lot and extensively tonight, but it's been a big major player here throughout this portion of the season. And you got to think, so there's some drivers going, this tire wear, this is me trying to really figure out what's going on here. And now that pace car will dive off. Green flag will wave. We're single file. Oh, Joshua Johnson in front of the field. Right in front of Tater Williams.
Johnson slammed.
Marlowe on his lid. And that is going to be hard to shake off as the story of us in this series continues here tonight. And the plot thickens.
And I'm starting to think these last 10 laps are haunted for some reason, but this is a timeless race. I'm loving what we're seeing right now. I don't want them to begin again. I want them to finish this out, and I'm more than tolerating this. I'm loving this right now.
Well, and you got to think there's been a lot of contact here tonight. Maybe some bad blood after this one here, as that is our 6th caution. Next one will be 7th, and some castles here are crumbling of visions of a win. You've got now Austin McGlone down there towards the bottom. You got a car that was running up front. That's Dear John Hine. He's trying to make his way back up through the field. And it's like you just want that last kiss here at this Knoxville Raceway, and you want to be up front as we'll cycle them back through. It's still Aiden Young in front of Dylan Perry.
And finishes like this, it's nothing new for this series. I mean, that's why we had all this strategy going on. And these guys are trying to mirror each other. You kind of, they're putting it all to the wall right now. And so it's this is the season. This is the time of year where it's nothing new for us. Who's gonna have that? Who's gonna have just the right touch to make that final run? We're about to find out. And you're gonna want to speak now. Put money where your mouth is.
Well, will this be an enchanted night for Aiden Young, or will there be a glitch and it will be someone behind him here, as now it's, hey, Steven Spees, you're right there in 4th. You've got a chance at this one as well, And whose night will this be? And who's going to ride that white horse to victory lane as they are single file? Lights are still on, so we're not going back to green yet. But you've got to think with a little state of grace, you're going to pull into victory lane, and that's going to be one of these drivers.
Yeah, and I mean, it's to the point where, you know, for everyone who's kind of been reading the headlines, dear reader, you're gonna see the headlines, you're gonna see kind of just who won this race, but really, this is a deeper story. So if you've been watching with us tonight, you've seen the ebbs and flows, and are you ready for it? Are you ready for the type of finish that it's gonna be peaceful for some, but it's gonna be stressful for others?
So it's safe and sound right now. There's peace out on the track as we get ready to go back to green. Aiden Young saying, I want this one to be mine, as we've got treacherous laps left as the green flag waves here at Knoxville. Good start for the front two there as they're able to separate Austin McGlone, Steven Spees, Tater Williams behind them as they race down the backstretch.
Yeah, everything has changed from when it started, and that's when, really right now, you got your last time to make a move, and it's going to have to be right now. And I know there's places everyone wants to be, but no one wants to be anywhere but this track right now. This is the place to be, as Dylan Perry inching closer to Aiden Young. McGlone back in action in the Pro Late Model Dirt Series. Is he going to be able to get by either Young or Perry?
As you see Dylan Perry to the inside, and when he goes through that corner, you've got to think out to the outside to just stay, as now they'll go cross over Aiden Young to the inside of Dylan Perry down the backstretch.
It's time to go. It's time to go. This is it right now. If you want to reach peak happiness, you got to make your move now. Don't leave anything out there. Burn these tires to the ground. I guess what I'm saying. You're not going to be sorry for it when you go all out. So, who's going to be Superman? Who's going to make the move? We'll find out.
So now it's Dylan Perry out front, Austin McGlone. Oh, Aiden Young will slap that wall on the exit of turn number 2, as now it's a battle we saw numerous times last year. And long story short, Dylan Perry, Austin McGlone have had these battles before, as now we have 4 laps to go. It's Perry, McGlone, Young, Spees, and Tater Williams, your top 5.
Yeah, I mean, you don't just, this strategy, it's not just an epiphany that comes to you. This is well thought out. This is something a lot of these drivers came to. So I'm really excited to kind of talk to them tonight and kind of get an idea of how they came into this, because what a masterful job kind of displayed by Dylan Perry. Even Tater Williams, if finishers like this, that's a top 5 for a guy that was dead last. So man, it's just fun to watch these drivers, how they strategize, and especially when it works, it makes them look like a genius.
So 2 laps to go. It's still Dylan Perry out front. He's got Austin McGlone behind him, Aiden Young in third. You can see the space back to the third spot, is now this battle back for 4th place between Lassiter, Williams, and Steven Spees continues to rage on. Tight racing back in the pack here. This is all a battle to get into that top 10. And out front with the white flag, it's the P7 of Dylan Perry.
Coming around, passing the Hall of Fame Museum, Dylan Perry just has one more turn to go.
And it is his love story tonight. It's Dylan Perry with the win at Knoxville. McGlone second, Aiden Young third, Lassiter fourth, Steven Spees a top 5.
And the sparks are flying once again here at Knoxville. Love that pyro and love that we are having this showcase on Extreme eSpeed TV. Stick with us. We've got interviews with the top 3 drivers here on Extreme eSpeed TV.
As we'll throw up those unofficial results, Dylan Perry, Austin McGlone, Aiden Young, your top 3, joining us here shortly. Jacob Lassiter 4th, Steven Spees, the top 5. Tater Williams 6th, Brandon Marlowe 7th, Carlton, Voiles, and Ramsey will round out your top 10. And 11th, it's Andy Piercefield, John Hine, Joshua Johnson, Cody Early, Jordan Van Westen. And rounding out the field, it's Brandon Bender, Tyler Benefield, Brian Voiles, and Brandon Combs. So we'll wait for the top 3 to join us up here in the booth. And Adam, I'm going to throw it over to you. You've currently got our 3rd place finisher, Aiden Young.
That's right, joined by Aiden Young. And Aiden, what an interesting race. We really didn't see a lot of drivers push too hard until really about halfway through the race. What was your strategy kind of heading into this one?
I don't really have a strategy. Just really drive like an asphalt car and just not race.
Yeah, and so are you happy with this finish? Do you feel like you maybe could have held on or gotten back up if there were more laps?
And not really. My car was pretty much junk after that last restart, so I don't know what happened. So I don't know.
So kind of that last race, do you feel like maybe if we had, one or two fewer cautions, maybe you would have been able to make or hold it?
Well, I think so. It's just trying to get in a rhythm again. It's impossible.
Well, you finished on the podium. We appreciate having you in the booth. It's been fun to watch you. We know we'll hopefully talk to you soon, but before we let me go, any partners you want to shout out?
I just got to thank Cody for letting me be in the league and all the partners on my car.
All right, that is Aiden Young, your third place finisher. And Travis, it looks like you're about to be joined. Once we get him here in the booth, we will have our second and first place drivers.
So locked in, and now we are joined by our second place driver. It's Austin McGlone. Austin, we haven't seen you since this tire wear here in the Coolray Pro Late Model Dirt Series. Kind of walk us through your night and how that played out for you till the end.
Yeah, man. Well, first off, I want to say it's good to be back. Just been doing some actual real life racing and not really had no time for this, although I hate it because I do enjoy this. Part of the game plan, man, was just to save. I've struggled with that ever since it's come out. I don't think that's I don't think it's hard to find out that I've been struggling with it. But no, I think I think all of us as a team, we'd all had a game plan that we was just going to run so much off of our best lap time, set that pace, and then really just try to figure out when was the best time to kind of go. And then once we got that yellow, but I think it was like at lap 25 or something, that pretty much forced everybody's hand into going. You couldn't really save much after that. So,
was there anything there at the end that maybe you had or would have given you a chance to go after that P7? Really, the three of you, including Aiden Young there, were battling. Was there anything that you needed to get up to Dylan and battle for that win?
Well, more laps would have helped. It seemed like once I was starting to find a little bit better line through the corners, and probably had a little bit better tire than Dylan there at the end. And I noticed I could catch him, but it wasn't enough. And I threw a Hail Mary there on the last lap through 3 and 4 and kind of wrapped the berm and got a really good drive up off the corners. So I think if I maybe tried to have done that a couple laps, might have been a different story. But still a heck of a race, and congratulations to him.
Well, it was a great race. We were happy to have you back. Any sponsors you want to give a shout out to tonight?
I got to thank all the guys at Chip Bangers. Combs is a huge shout out. If he's listening, he's probably laughing. But since the tire wear come out, I've been really struggling with it, and he's been kind of helping me out on how to pace myself. All the guys over at the Goat Farm Posse, SS Energy Systems, Project X Coatings, Bluegrass Motorsports Media, and then I want to thank you all for an amazing broadcast, and Cody and all the admins for what they do each week.
Congratulations. We look forward to seeing you again soon here with the series, Austin.
Yep, looking forward to it.
That's Austin McGlone, our second place finisher tonight. We'll throw it over to Adam. He's got our winner from Victory Lane.
I do. Great to be joined once again back-to-back for Dylan Perry. And Dylan, you're finding your groove again, but from the viewer's perspective, that had to be one of the more strange races in terms of kind of leaders and who was at the front, who was in the middle, who was at the back. For you kind of stayed in the later half of the top 10. Obviously the strategy paid off for you, but what was kind of your thinking going into this entire night?
We kind of all had a game plan of right off the bat, just try to save, because this track seemed like it wanted to just chew up tires pretty bad and pretty quick. So we all kind of got together and we kind of figured out kind of what our pace needed to be. Some wanted to kind of keep their pace. I think Combs and them were trying to keep the pace that they had been all year, that has worked time and time again for them. And I went kind of back to my pace that I did at Lincoln and the first race we had, where I just tried to stay in the hunt but not drop way back. And whenever we got about halfway, I felt like I still had a pretty good bit of tire left, and some of the guys had started pushing a little bit earlier. So we were getting ready to start going, and that caution came out, so that kind of that kind of forced us to just let her all hang out and give the last 20 laps everything we had and see what we could do.
At what point, if you remember it, how many laps in did you start to say, okay, I'm starting to lose that grip. I'm starting to lose what I had. I mean, you timed it nicely in the end, but was there a point where you're like, okay, this could, I might push this a little too hard and I might not have enough left on these tires?
I think it was somewhere with about 8 or 10 to go. I knew the route was starting to fade a little bit, and then Aiden had bobbled, so I slid him, and I knew that ate up a good chunk of my tire. And then was thinking we could keep racing it out, and I could try to hold some momentum and stay out front. And then we had that caution. I think it was around 8 to go whenever that happened, and I really didn't need it because I thought at that point it was going to be tough to pass because I kind of showed my hand on where I was going to make my pass at, and I kind of thought that was the fat lady singing on that one, but I got lucky and was able to get him to slip up one more time and get by him, and it just all kind of worked out. It was one of those knots that I guess it was just my knot.
It was a little bit of luck, a little bit of skill. It all helped get you back to the top of the podium. And before we let you go, give you the opportunity to shout those partners out.
Yeah, first off, as always, I got to thank Andy. He's been a tremendous help. I don't think I can put into words how grateful I am for him and his whole family that helped us out. I truly couldn't do it without him. All the guys over at Chip Bangers Racing, glad we could have McClone back, and I thought he was fixing to take that one from me too. But glad to have him back. Tater, Combs, Bender, I'm drawing a blank on everybody, but just Brett, who had a good run tonight. Andy almost squeaked out of the top 10 on that one. I was pulling for him, but just everybody that helps us week in and week out. All those guys over there, Rapid Race Graphics, Piercefield Media Group, Evans Air Conditioning, Harrison Automotive, Chattanooga Valley, Nudes Lawn Care, Phantom Race Engines, Banging Sets by CBR, B&B Custom Baits, Combs Cuts, GFP, CBR Race Cars, just everybody that helps me do what I do. I cannot thank them enough, and I hope that I can just make them proud.
Awesome. Well, thank you for the time, Dylan. Congrats on the win. We know we'll be talking to you again soon, so enjoy the rest of your week, and hopefully we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, and hopefully we will.
That's Dylan Perry, your winner from Knoxville here in the Hall of Fame Classic. 50 more laps down for the season. As we get ready to go, we will be back in action next Wednesday night from Cedar Lake for 75 laps from Cedar Lake Speedway. As always, we appreciate you tuning in and watching with us. It's been another exciting night of Coolray Pro Late Model Dirt Series action. We'll see you next week, and we will see you at a racetrack soon.
This copyrighted broadcast of Extreme eSpeed TV Network is intended solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without express written consent of the Extreme eSpeed TV Network is strictly prohibited. We hope you've enjoyed this broadcast.